Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 231st edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by PWSA's number one fanboy, Jaden.
Howdy.
Howdy. And, of course, Charlie Day, a.k.a. Luigi, a.k.a. Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Yo, what's up? Howdy was
Not much.
taken, so, yeah. Back to yo, I guess.
Yeah.
I was reclaiming my word.
Reclaiming your culture. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Damn indeed. God, this is all we got now. This just bickering about what word we use as the intro, you know? I mean...
Dude, I was trying to think of something like interesting to say back to that, but I was like, I can't even think of it. Let's just fucking move on, dude.
Yeah, we could. Or I could challenge you like every week. You know, you guys could both like come in prepared with something sort of either interesting, you know, charming to say. You know what I mean? Just to sort of, I don't know, add a bit of interest to this section. Alrighty.
There's only so many ways to say hello, though, you know, like.
No, but not even like you could do the hello and then like, you know, you could throw in another little remark about something. I don't know.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
You can't like force it. Like there has to be like a natural chat, you know. We've had natural chats before about you shitting yourself and so on.
Yeah,
but like, you know,
I feel like it's always me pulling my weight in that department. By the way, because
I think I pressed that question though, didn't I?
Yeah, actually, you probably I think you did.
You know,
yeah.
if it happens, it happens.
I feel like there's a fine line between, yes, absolutely, we don't want to force anything, I agree. But there's also an acknowledgement that we're creating an entertainment product in which we can attempt to, you know, throw things out there and see if anything sticks. You know what I mean?
When I say how are you, I swear you always just say good and then move on. You know, I've said how are you before to initiate the pre-discussion, and you've totally shut me down before, so I've given up on that, you know.
But how are you?
So you're no, but it starts something. Like, how do you can't just start a conversation with like, oh, hi. By the way, I saw this like interesting thing when I like went on a walk this morning, or like something like. You have to start with.
Yeah. No, I hear.
Question,
I hear.
you know?
And to be fair, in the past few weeks, we also have had like us attacking you in the first like couple minutes. So, you know, that has been a little bit of something going on.
Yeah, the prick thing.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like that's run its course now, so that's why I'm sort of looking to pivot from it.
Well, you're trying to reignite arguments, so you know. That's...
Yeah, it's no. I'm trying to make it not a bit into. I'm making it a real thing through this. But okay. But if I would ask you, how are you? This are you suggesting like I could do that and then the chain would begin? Because it can't just be put back onto me all the time. You know what I mean?
I feel like how are you is a pretty dead question. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do it now?
What question would you ask? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, let's figure out how to make a podcast without talking about movies, which we haven't really done for the last, 5 years. But let's we can figure it out. We can figure it out live.
That's right.
Episode 251.
That's right.
No, but okay, what would you ask? That's not like how are you? What would you? How would you lead into the interesting discussions?
I think the onus is actually on Zach in his nickname that he applies, you know, and then how you respond to that, you know, because you've voiced your issues before with them, or you know, I've had my issues with them.
Oh hell yeah,
I think, fuck, get it. Like, I think the onus falls on Zach.
I feel like this is exactly what I'm arguing against. The onus doesn't fall on me. It should be an equal part.
I'm saying it should be on you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I agree with Jane. Actually,
Shit. Well, all right. Well,
while we're at it with issues at the start,
yes,
we need to get rid of the music, man.
No,
we need to change it.
It does. Yeah, we should evolve the music. Yeah.
All right. Feel free to pitch me a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
just think that when you look at that watch time and you're like 30 seconds, you're like, those people didn't make it past the song.
Really? I don't know. Plenty of podcasts have intro songs like that.
Yeah, but ours is a bit, you know.
If anything, I think our song keeps people in for 30 seconds.
Did it dead us?
Yeah.
I have had complaints directed, like I have had like suggestions.
No, here we go. Here we go.
given to me before of change the song, get rid of the song, better song.
I'm open to it. I'm totally open. I'm not here, trying to.
This has come from multiple sources as well, by the way.
I'm totally open to changing the song, but if you recall, 2 years ago, this came up last time.
Mhm.
I spent an afternoon trying to make a better song. Couldn't do it. Couldn't be
If
bothered.
only one of us had a brother
saying
that's a
that-
musician. That'd be great.
He made the current one, dude.
Yeah, let's get MSB back in the studio.
I can't ask him to do another one. This was his best attempt. The
The audience should make us a theme. We'll do a competition. Best.
This is great. Yeah.
Best theme wins, and we'll all contribute a theme as well. We'll all use our band labs and our music makers and free software. Oh, Zach has. You have your brother probably has some stuff that he could use, so you could use that.
I was totally
We got,
down
like,
for that
5
until you
themes.
started saying we've got to do it too. Like I was all for the audience.
Well, they've got to have some encouragement. Otherwise, some people won't do it. So.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, true. I'm open to changing the song. I'm totally open to it. But I don't mind the song. So I'm not going to this isn't my initiative.
You may not
I'm
mind
concerned.
it, but
Yeah.
I've had complaints from
Yeah.
audience members about it.
Yeah. So you make the song, buddy.
No, but I'm just saying the audience doesn't like certain parts of the audience doesn't like, what you think doesn't really matter.
Is this the real audience or is this the fake audience?
I mean, like
They're real enough.
Real enough, yeah. I mean,
Real enough. Okay. All right. I'll accept that. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, for all movies, I don't mind doing it for this, to be honest. This is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we talk about and review a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Drive Away Dolls, which opened in the US on February 23rd, 2024. It was directed by Ethan Coen. It was also co-directed by his wife, who now, I don't have her name in front of me, which makes me feel really bad for even bringing this up, because now she's just Ethan Coen's wife, which is really terrible. But I wanted to point that out, because it's another one of those things where they can't be co-credited. Thank you very much. It is a road trip comedy, and the synopsis says, Jamie regrets her breakup with her girlfriend while Marion needs to relax. In search of a fresh start, they embark on an unexpected road trip to Tallahassee. Which state is Tallahassee in?
Florida.
Florida.
They say it a couple of times, man.
I couldn't remember. That's why thank you. I just needed to check. Things quickly go awry when they cross paths with a group of inept criminals. Very good. Jaden, how did you enjoy this trip to Tallahassee, Florida?
Have we brought this up before, whether it's Ori or I don't know.
I was actually
It's
thinking
alright.
that.
It's all right.
Ori, is it?
That's just
I
factual.
think it's alright. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even going to... There's no debate there.
The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Yeah, I think.
Correct.
Yeah. I think spoken it sounds better, but I think when I read it in my head, I go Ori.
Oh, I almost said Ori then. Yeah. Like when I was reading it, because but once my brain connected what the word is, it's awry. The awry is
Sure.
correct. Yeah. So yeah, Jaden, road trip. Did it go awry?
Yeah, like, I don't know. This movie feels so weird coming from a Coen. Like, it doesn't. It has, like, learning that his wife co-directed at the end made a lot more sense, and that she co-wrote it as well made a lot more sense. But like even then, like there is an amateurish quality that like I just wouldn't expect coming from someone that's been making amazing films that he has from for 30 years. There's a certain way that like the scenes, especially like early on, like when it's just Marion and the other one, like when they're chatting, that just feel like Jamie, where it just feels like amateurish, and like it's kind of framed and kind of shot, and like the way they move around and like how they choose the camera to like where they choose the camera to like be for like certain shots, and like that just really surprised me, and like it kind of got rid of it, but like I guess that was kind of like my thread of the film was where it didn't really feel like a Coen film, which is like you know, good thing, bad thing, because given it's a you know, quote unquote solo thing, obviously with his wife rather than his brother. But yeah, I think like when the movie was more focused on the comedy in the first half, I was enjoying it enough. But then like when it kind of flipped to focus on the romance a little bit more between them, it kind of felt like the movie was a bit confused, and it kind of lost me a bit in there as well, because I'm like, well, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the romance? Like, obviously, you can be both, you know. But it just felt like it did a hard switch from like the comedy angle to the romance angle, which is fine, but it just didn't feel like it worked for me entirely. It just felt like it was kind of confused, and you know, yeah. So yeah,
Confused movie. Yeah. Well, it's interesting comparing this to the Coens, and if it feels like a Coen film or whatever. Like, so, what's it called? The Tragedy of Shakespeare. That other film.
Macbeth.
Oh my god, yeah, Shakespeare. Yeah, the Macbeth movie that Joel Coen made. It's pretty interesting. Like, I watched like 20 minutes in that movie and quit. But like, it's funny. Like, if you want to look at the differences between the two brothers potentially, and like what they come together and bring, because like how different in tone they are, and how totally, you know.
I think it's
It's just
written like
funny.
a Coen Brothers film, not entirely in terms of dialogue, but in terms of plot base and pacing. I think
Yeah.
that feels like a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah.
But it's just that, yeah, the kind of more physical side of it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Isn't that? It's. I don't know. I guess the argument I'm making is that like Joel brings maybe those visual aspects and the drama, and then Ethan brought the sort of quirky comedy aspect that is often infused in their films. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it. Anyway, that's just an interesting case study. I thought this film was pretty bad. I didn't really enjoy it very much at all. And pretty much nothing worked for me. So, looking forward to talking about it. Fitzy, what did you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with both of you. I think it was just, I don't know. It felt severely under everything, just underwritten,
Yeah.
under directed. I mean, it was bloody. It was really short as well. So it just feels incomplete, and it feels. I mean,
it didn't feel as
amateurish
short as it should be.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I took the whole morning to watch this. I like spaced it out somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, amateurish is like the perfect word for it. Like some of these
Yeah.
scenes, especially the kind of dynamic between the two, the two like I mean
The criminal dudes.
What's the word for that? Fuck me, it's
Goon.
yeah, the two goons. Yeah, that was very like student film kind of writing there, and
Yeah.
I think like just the comedy was shit overall. It was just I don't know, like Bottoms. I mean, Luke made a comparison to Bottoms. I think
come on.
the jokes in Bottoms are a lot better, but like how you guys felt watching this is probably how I felt watching that. You know, I think it's a similar thing.
I think you should rewatch Bottoms now that you're out of your Friday Night Lights phase.
I think Friday Night Lights would have made me appreciate it more, if anything.
No,
I think
you felt too defensive for the football team.
For the jock, yeah. Sure, but like just the vulgar humor, it didn't click at any point, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just shit, man. It was a shit movie. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that you guys see. Yeah, I kind of kept coming back to just shit, nothing's working kind of thing. I love that you guys are coming in on the angle of it being amateurish, because I totally agree. And that hadn't really come to the forefront for me, but that's totally true. I think I think at points it's meant to feel intentionally so. Would you guys agree in the direction? Like, I mean, like the most obvious thing I can point to is like the transitions, you know. Whereas I think it's meant to add a bit of charm to it, but it's just
transitions was
nothing.
an interesting thing.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's because it's going to be a period piece. Maybe they're trying to channel that a bit, you know, and where you got some of your older transitions.
Yeah. Like, but that choice specifically felt intentionally amateurish. Like, obviously, this is movie maker shit, and we know it. But it doesn't add any. It was just weird. It didn't work for me.
I think the transitions kind of felt like comic book esque, like a wacky kind of graphic novel or something. I think that was like the intention, but yeah, it just kind of felt clumsy.
I also wonder. I think The budget is what is something I'm curious about, because I just think a lot of the sets, just going back to that amateur thing as well. I think in the physical way is that the sets just feel very boring. Like they're never more than just, if they're outside, it's just kind of very vaguely empty street, and if they're inside, they kind of feel underdressed or just at just basic, so that the space can function as what it is. Like with that lesbian bar at the end, or with any of the other lesbian bars during the film. They all kind of feel like bare minimum in terms of how you produce it.
Yeah.
So like if they made it on like a shoestring, which I doubt because it's Coens, but I don't know, maybe they did.
I just looked it up and Google's telling me 13 mil.
I mean, how much of that went to Matt Damon?
What do you reckon? So, what do you reckon Matt Damon and Pedro got for this?
Well, Matt Damon probably did not much because he's just a bit of a mate, Who's like,
yeah, okay,
okay. Pedro might have wanted a bit more. Miley Cyrus probably would have wanted a bit more.
Oh my god, Miley Cyrus! I reckon. Do you reckon Matt Damon got 500K?
No,
not that much.
No.
Okay.
No, we need.
Okay. I don't know. I reckon Pedro got 500K.
If your budget's only 13 mil, I don't think you're giving that much to any actor.
Where else did it go?
I don't know.
Good question. No, I mean, Margaret Qualley's like very big now, So I mean, she would have got paid a decent amount of that, but
yeah.
I do.
That is true.
Yeah, it's still kind of befuddling where all the money went.
Yeah, I feel like you could have made this, like, take the actors out, and I feel like this is definitely a sub-$1 million budget movie, in my opinion.
I mean, there was that one like popular-ish song that my mum knew, but I don't know, like I don't even think
Blue
that.
By You.
Yeah, but I don't know how much money went to that either, because like it doesn't.
I don't think you're right to be too much on that.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like the music was that I don't know, popular or anything, like popular enough to justify like a huge amount of money to be spent on it. So
maybe don't went to the CGI, like like hallucinogenic trip scenes.
They hired like Weta Digital to do it for like no reason. Well, okay, yeah. What was the deal with those scenes? Like, so I mean, the film has a lot of sort of what's the best way to put it? Like, I don't know, like intermediary, cutaway sort of recurring, little subplots, whatever. I don't know what narrative devices that it uses. I suppose the hallucinogenic shit is one of them. I don't know. Did this add anything to the experience? I didn't understand it at all, even contextually. Like,
I think it was just meant to kind of drip feed you. Like, it's just so that like where it ends up in the last 20 minutes isn't as much of a shock. It's meant to like drip feed you a bit, like as like where it's going.
Like tonally,
not in a way, but also like the whole like I don't know with the plaster caster, and I think like it like this being a period film, but then I also think when you chuck on Funkadelic and then like the kind of psychic visuals, it also lets you know the different time period that's referring to, which is like the kind of 60s that with the young Matt Damon that we see. So like,
oh, okay.
So like,
right,
I don't think it's entirely purposeless, and I actually quite enjoyed it, especially because of Maggot Brain.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to serve as like the mystery of like what's in the case or whatever, but like the mystery isn't thick enough for anyone to care really. It's kind of
yeah.
But it was jarring, and it was it was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I was so tripped out by Miley Cyrus turning up in this movie. I'm like, is she also a mate? Like, because I don't know why the hell she did this. You know what I mean? Unless she got like 10 of the 13 mil, which would also explain it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No clue about the relationship between them.
It was just kind of like, I feel like it's meant to be cool. Like, oh, wow, Miley Cyrus is here. Like, it was just confusing. Like, she appears and I'm just kind of like, is that Miley Cyrus? that was all the reaction I got from it. It was just like, oh, yeah. I guess in terms of those scenes adding to the plot, I think when you said at the start, Fitzy, about this film feeling underwritten, I think this is exactly where it comes into me with like the whole mystery or whatever, like the whole Matt Damon. Like, dude, there's nothing interesting about this at all. Like, I just didn't care once. I sort of forgot I was meant to even like be considering what's in the box or whatever. I was just like, okay. And then the reveal's just terrible. I don't know. Like, okay, so it's Matt Damon's plastered dick and famous people's dicks. Okay, like, is that, who cares? Like, and he's going on this big mission to like make sure it doesn't get out there. Like, why does he? I don't even really get why he cares.
Because you see him on the billboard promoting Christian traditional values in his running for the state senate. You know, whatever.
So what? Someone else made a plaster of his dick, and that's his fault. Like, what?
Yeah, because he was a hippie in the '60s, you know, and he was sleeping around. You know, that's not good traditional Christian values. It's going to ruin his political career. You know.
All right, so it's going to lead. Okay, all right. It's going to. Okay, sure. Okay.
He could have been the next president. You know, it's like.
I don't know. The film really failed to communicate the stakes to me of that. I don't know. It just didn't really. I mean, what you're saying obviously adds up, I guess, but it's just like, okay. The whole time I was watching it, I'm like, I don't know why he cares this much about his dick getting out there. You know what I mean?
I mean, he could also just say, not mine. Like.
Sure. Yeah, like, prove it. You know what I mean? Especially to the point where at the end he like grabs a gun like he's going to murder for it. Like, dude, he's about to get murdered on the street. Like,
yeah, the Matt Damon scenes weren't great either. Like the confrontation wasn't satisfying in any way.
No. Yeah, that final sit down scene with him. It's one of those things where like obviously I love Matt Damon, and you sort of want to get something out of it just on that level of like he's bringing something comedic, he's bringing something to the scene that's sort of endearing or, you know, funny in some way. And I think it was supposed to be funny, like when he gives his monologue about, and this stick belongs to the Fortune 500, and this, you know, and he goes for like 30 seconds about it. And I think I'm meant to think it's so ridiculous that it's funny.
I think a part of it about the commodifying of the male body is meant to be a parallel to like how like women's bodies have been commodified. And I think there's been meant to be like a bit of ironic comedy in his whole kind of righteousness for you can't treat men this way and you can't reduce us to like, you know, these objects or whatever. I think there's meant to be a bit of irony there in this
right.
comedy.
I'm really glad that you know what? I reckon you're totally right about that. That's very observant. So like did you appreciate it in the moment and thought it was like clever and fun?
You know? Yeah. Like, well, okay. I don't know about clever and fun, but like that's what I was picking up in the moment.
okay, yeah. But it didn't. Yeah, okay, it didn't like add to your enjoyment of it. You know what I mean?
It probably made me take the scene on a little bit better than what you did.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, it's not like you're sitting here saying it was great. Okay. Yeah, and then I don't know. Like, I guess that just extends to I already mentioned when he pulled out the gun and shit. Like. Wait, when the Pedro's head goes rolling and the dog chases after it at the end, and that's meant to be like this sort of climactic sort of stinger bit in the movie, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like I could kind of see what they were going for on the page in terms of like you've seen versions of that scene in other movies where something so ridiculous happens and then the dog comes over and then licks something or eats something, or you know what I mean? Like that's a kind of that's a template sort of model for a comedic climactic scene. And so I could sort of see what they were maybe thinking, but there was just nothing funny about it because the head just rolled and then the dog just ran after and that was it. Like, was I meant to be laughing hysterically at that? You know what I mean? Like the dog needed to grab. I'm not even joking. Like the dog needed to grab the head, come back and like piss on it or something for it to work. Like for the scene to really land. Not that I would have I'm not saying I would have been like chuckling at that either necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like it needs to escalate a bit further.
Right. I mean, it's kind of a throwaway moment, but
yeah, sorry.
We should talk about the women, you know, because we've been talking about the men for 20 minutes, and this is a film with two lesbian characters at the.
I appreciate your self-awareness, Fitzy. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I don't know. Like Margaret Qualley's like southern accent, it was just really unfunny, I guess.
Yeah.
And the other character, what was her name?
Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne.
Have we forgotten the names like 4 times already?
Yeah.
What was Beanie Feldstein's character name? Come on, quickly.
I didn't know who that actress is.
Rusi, something like that. Suki.
Suki.
Yeah. Marianne was kind of, she was fine. She had the whole like fish out of water, like normal person in a weird situation thing that she was trying to do, but
Yeah.
it was just another thing that didn't really work, I guess. So, and like I think their thing, like Jaden, like you mentioned, like the romance thing earlier, or like the plot between them, which is like she has to come out of a shell or whatever. That's like the whole idea. That thing was undercooked, I guess, as well.
Big time.
But,
Yeah. They try to sort of insert those flashbacks, I guess, like, I don't know, giving her like lesbian origin story or whatever, with like her looking through the fence as a neighbor. I guess I appreciate what it's, I don't know, trying to say about her sexuality and stuff. But again, undercooked is the word, because it's just like, I don't know, it didn't really feel like it paid off in any way. Or it didn't really tell me anything about the character that was interesting to then go back to the main timeline, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really know what relevance that would bear. Other than like when the husband comes out and you kind of see he's like fat and disgusting, and you're like,
Yeah, they felt like there was something there. Yeah.
So like I say, like that's like kind of the only thing that you might be able to carry forward if there's anything. But yes,
Men are gross, women
Yeah.
are hot. Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with that, but Yeah. Margaret, unfortunately, yeah. Margaret, love you in most things. This ain't it.
it's too much.
Too much. Exactly. I don't know. Like, does she have like a single line in this movie that doesn't like that isn't designed to remind you that she's a lesbian? Like, I just feel like she's like basically everything she says is "I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian." And like that's like literally her whole character, dude.
no, but she's also Southern, so you got to say it in a Southern accent,
Oh yeah, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I honestly think it probably does more down to the accent, where like it was too thick, man. I don't know. Like it was like distractingly thick, and you're like, then like even with like some of like the comedic lines that she has, I think like they're honestly lost on the accent because like that takes all the focus.
Right. Yeah. It is distracting. Yeah. I was trying to think of like, I'm trying my best to see through the forest here, if as it were, and sort of see what the film is trying to be. The closest parallel, like I think this film's trying to sort of be like a lesbian Thelma and Louise. It's sort of the best I could come up with. And like, I don't know, on paper that sounds like kind of could be fun. Sure. But yeah, in execution, when it's sort of hinging so much on, I think the main appeal meant to be the character back and forth we've already mentioned, and like those scenes in the car, and yeah, just I don't know, the whole the two leads and their dynamic. It puts way too many eggs into that basket, and then it just doesn't. It's not very good. So, like, I the Thelma and Louise parallels were coming up, and I was sort of thinking like, I'm not even a big fan of that movie, but I was thinking like, I don't know, that movie at least, I don't know, I felt like I was on an adventure watching it. It had some tension. It felt like the characters were making significant choices in their own, for their lives kind of thing. This just all felt like throwaway. Like, I don't know. Whatever.
I think a part of that is also just the geography of like the locations. I just feel like they don't change very much. It's hard to garner where they are on their journey because they never really establish it well. So it never feels like progress is really being made. Especially when you're told, oh, we're going to be in Georgia this day, we're going to be in this and that day, and whatever. And you're like, oh, well, actually, they're here. I was like, oh, who knows, man?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they sort of talk about that, like, I think setting up. It sort of felt like, oh, they were setting up, they're going to go to these different places or whatever, and then, like, I don't even really know where they went. Now that I've seen it. Does the late 90s setting add anything? Jaden, I felt you've helped me with a bit of insight so far. Is there anything you can see of like, oh yeah, something about I don't know, LGBT community at the time, that sort of adds to the story in some way. I don't know.
And it was just surprisingly accepting.
That's true.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's true.
You telling me there's a rich hotel in fucking Florida is gay friendly in the 90s?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really get anything from the setting other than like the scenario being plausible in that year.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah. That's the reason it was chosen. We need the script to make sense. Fitzy already mentioned the two goons. I don't think they had a single funny scene. Yeah,
I just feel like they suffer from that Coen Brothers thing where, like, obviously that one goon like has that random act of violence at the end that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and I used to be a bit adverse to that, but then like as I watched more Coen Brothers, I'm like I actually ended up it was something I quite liked. But here again, it just feels wrong. So I'm like, you know, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like a step backwards. Given like, no, yeah.
Yep, I totally agree. That it was so out of nowhere. I actually forgot it happened. So thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to like anything that did make me laugh though. I honestly think the funniest scene in the movie is Marion's intro scene, like with her in the office cubicle talking to that guy. I thought that was actually decent. I'm like early scene, like, oh yeah, if this is the kind of comedy I'm in store for, that's cool. I'm always down for humor that sort of picks apart language, and I don't know, I just thought it was well delivered. Genuinely a decent scene. Outside of that, I laughed. Sorry, Jan. Yes.
No, you're right.
I'm just trying to. Did you laugh at that? I'm trying to just pick parts that I remember.
Well, yeah, I think early doors when Suki's taking the wall dildo off, I think it was a bit much. And I was like, okay, this is extreme. But then, like, realizing that's the comedy for the entire film, I think it makes me see that, and I was like, okay, now that is quite funny. But it's just that I didn't realize that was like the kind of the level that the film was at. So I was like, okay, but so I didn't get full enjoyment at the time, but I recognize that's it's like one of the better jokes to me. It's just as a visual gag, but, you know.
Yeah. No, it was a funny visual gag. The only other time I laughed in the movie was when this Curly character, the guy who rented the car to them, like when he's like lying on his back and he just delivers the line, "Won't anybody save Curly?" I just thought it was funny. That made me laugh.
I think
referring to himself in the
when they're with the soccer team and they're all making out, and then it gets to Marion and Jamie's turn, and they say we're just friends, and they all look at them weirdly. I think that was actually quite funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah,
obviously because I know also because like the double entendre of like, you know, like lesbians always have to do like, oh no, we're just friends or whatever, you know, like especially back in those days. So
yeah,
I thought that was good.
It's like, we're all here. What do you think we're doing, bro? Man, the title of the film was always meant to be Drive Away Dykes, as it comes up at the end. But the studio and the advertisers forced them to change it.
I was wondering if you'd say that word.
Well, I don't have a problem saying it in the context of the trivia in the film, you know what I mean? Do you think I should?
I don't know.
Thanks for making me doubt myself. Yeah. So yeah, Drive Away Dolls is obviously a censored version of the title, so there you go. That's fun. The whole thing with Henry James, though, I didn't. That went over my head.
Oh yeah, that's Liam's angle, I guess.
Yeah, thanks, Liam.
Yeah, I actually have a Henry James book and a William James book on my desk. So when they said, "Oh, the brother," I was like, "Oh, William James, yeah, the principles of psychology."
Nice,
yeah. But I don't know what the relevance is.
Did you not bring him up last week when you talking about great American authors?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
Maybe Hemingway or something, but he was like earlier, I think. Maybe it's something to do with like repression or something. But yeah, let's yeah, I don't know enough about it to, you know,
let's
to
put
be
a pin in that and
intellectual
not come
about it.
back. Yeah. Well, when it first came up, my first thought was like, it was obviously a weird one, but my first thought was like, is this an Apocalypse Now situation where it's actually the whole thing's sort of loosely based, like obviously a very modern, totally different adaptation of like a Henry James book in some way, but it doesn't sound like it.
Oh, what is the Europeans about?
She said it in the movie. It's about two Europeans who come over to that are oppressed or something, and they go to New England, or the New England people are oppressed. Something like that.
Well, that is the case then, because it says that the book is about two visitors from Europe with those of their relatives living in the New World of New England, and like their contrasting behavior and attitudes towards the two visitors. So like that's what the film is, and that's that's what the book is. The Europeans is.
Well, it's not really what the film is it? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're very much in their lesbian world. They didn't feel like outsiders.
I think to an extent, you know.
No, but it's about the contrast between like the two main characters and like the two groups in the book, right? Because like one's repressed, one's free. You know.
I wouldn't
So
argue this
that's-
angle, but the fact that you brought it up
Mm.
is why I'd go for it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Maybe there's something there. Yeah. I don't know, but like okay, so
I think it's the fact that I think what's supposed to be funny is the fact that she's like reading Henry James because he's like, you know, very dense. He's got very dense writing. He's very like, you know, heady, very intellectual. So she's like the opposite. She's like the opposite of Margaret. So
Yeah. Margaret / Jamie, like her whole arc in the film was like that she didn't go to the lesbian party at the end, right?
Well, yeah, like she's committed to the romance with Marianne.
Yeah. She's no longer I know what's the kind of person that just gets about. You know what I mean?
you can think of some words. I'm not going to say.
I think
I honestly can't.
You've got one on your mind.
I honestly don't. I swear to God, I don't.
Suki uses it early on. You know, you can.
Oh yeah. I got one now. I actually didn't. I swear to God, I didn't. Luke said this movie was not made for me. This became clear when Maggot Brain started playing and Hannah Montana showed up. I had no interest in these characters. Their love story was cute, but it didn't feel earned. The film didn't take itself seriously, but that seemed intentional to me. The Texan accent threw me, but still better than Bottoms. No way, dude. Come on.
Did he use the right through there? By the way, I couldn't really be bothered.
No, he didn't.
Okay,
he didn't. Yeah, thank you for. I wasn't going to point it out, but there you go. 4 out of 10 from Spooky. Thank you, Spooky.
Okay, great Gatsby.
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe anyone thinks this is better than Bottoms, but that's okay. All right, let's get to our final verdicts for Drive Away Dolls. Fitzy.
I don't know. I think a 3, honestly. I think it feels harsh, but like when you mentioned things that were funny to me, I think that earlier scene you mentioned in The Office was kind of amusing, but like it was a pure comedy film, kind of like Bottoms, where just the humor I did not really understand at all. So I'll slap a 3 on it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is a 3 from me as well. Jaden.
I can give it a 5.
Oh, come on.
Like the only reason I'd think of 4 is because I'd expect more from Ethan Coen. But like it was fine enough to me where I was basically entertained, I'd say. But yeah, maybe a 4 because of Ethan. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll give it a 5. I'm a happy chap, you know.
Okay, all right. See that
he just has to prove that he's a happy chap. Yeah,
that's right.
That's part of his identity.
Yes. He's not depressed. He swears. Yeah. Exactly. It's fine. I'm happy to admit it. Alrighty, let's get to our highlights of the week. Indeed, Jaden, what have you been watching? And is it anything different?
Yeah, I watched quite a few movies this week.
Nice.
I'll continue the happy trend. I watched Transformers 1, dude, and this film is brilliant. Like, truly fantastic stuff.
I was shocked by this,
dude. Because I didn't like Rise of the Bears very much. I'm a very much out there Michael Bay lover. So like I was like, how much is this? How much is this one going to be? Stepping away from the Bayverse. For me. And it is brilliant from start to go. And like there are multiple instances where I had fucking chills, man. I was like dead ass chills. I was like, holy shit. And like it's a pretty standard story in terms of brothers to enemies kind of thing. In terms of your origin stuff, but like it is brilliant. It looks stunning. The action is fantastic. It is. I don't know, dude. It's so good. I still don't love Chris Hemsworth as fucking Orion Pax, which seems like a lot of people do, but it still hasn't fully sold for me. But everything else in the film is that's not that bad. Whatever. Like he's good. It's just not entirely there. But everything in the film is just brilliant. Yeah, it's great.
Now you can speak to Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't really like, in terms of talking about strong performances, I'd still talk about his widow stuff over this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a strong voice performance. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. It's funny because I only saw that first trailer, and the whole impression it gave me was this weird comedy vibe that they were going for.
Well, yeah, I don't know what Paramount are doing with what they thought they were going to do with this film, because like it's definitely got funny moments. Given that you got Keegan Michael Key in your cast, and just inherent kind of thing with an animated film for a younger audience or whatever.
Yeah.
But like its story is brilliant. And like it should be taken like it's a workers rise up kind of story. It's great.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I'm glad that tone. Like, I don't know. It sort of seemed like it was going for something totally different, but it sounds like it was just a trailer thing. So yeah, cool. I'm interested in checking it out for sure. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine this week. Finally, I caught up on that, and it was good. I did like it. I kind of had to go in with like carefully planned expectations because I don't like fourth wall breaking. So like, I'm going to watch this movie. Like I'm not stupid enough to go, I hate fourth wall breaking, and then watch Deadpool and Wolverine and then say, I hated it because of, I know what I'm getting into. So I sort of just had to adjust my expectations a little bit. And after I did that, it was good. I was sort of leaning more towards, it's sort of a low 7 for me. I think story-wise it's a 6. Like, the story didn't really do anything for me, but like, I laughed enough to justify the 7. Like, there was definitely some funny moments, and I always appreciate joking about Hollywood and studio executives, and they do plenty of that. So I was down for that. Yeah. I was gonna spoil one of the cameo bits in it that really got me, but
no, I know. I mean,
it's all right.
If it's for me, I know the cameo, so
yeah,
it's fine.
It was for you, dude. The Chris Evans bit got me. That was really funny. I can imagine myself liking it more in a theater. I think if you're in a theater full of people that are really into it and get everything and are laughing along, well, I can definitely see that bumping it up a point. The whole experience of it, just sitting there on my couch alone, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. This is cool. Whatever. But like, yeah, I think the community aspect probably helped it a lot in people's eyes, and I totally get why for what the experience is. I get that. The action was really good, some awesome shots and stuff. So yeah, I think the thing that I liked most about it, actually, in terms of the story being so nothing, was just that, like, yeah, the story. I guess I expected it to connect to the MCU more, and it really didn't. Like, it's in the MCU only in the same way that now, because of the multiverse, everything's technically in the MCU, or can be. You know what I mean? Like, this does not affect the MCU at all. It doesn't take place in the MCU timeline at all, except for one joke scene. So I was actually happy with that. I thought Deadpool was going to come over and like start affecting the MCU and start, fourth wall breaking the actual sort of main sacred timeline kind of thing. And that didn't really happen. He sort of stayed in his own lane the whole time. So in that sense, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was decent. Fitzy, what have you been watching?
I rewatched Reprise, which was a crazy experience because I didn't really like this film when I first watched it. I gave it like a 5, and I happened to rewatch this film unknowingly 2 years later on the exact same day. Since and the film's called Reprise, and I loved it this time. I think it's incredible. It's a Norwegian film. It's part of the Oslo trilogy. It's how do you pronounce this thing? Joachim Trier. It's his like feature basically. And it's about two guys who are like writers, and they publish their first manuscript at like the start of the film, and then they kind of have all these fantasies of like literary fame and stuff, but like reality kind of comes clashing down pretty quickly, and the film gets really depressing real quick. But the film has this kind of through line of like expectations versus reality, and like being an artist versus like just like living a different life, living a normal life, whatever. So it's about all that kind of stuff, like being an ambitious young artist, I guess. The through line of expectations versus reality is really well done. It's really affecting, particularly like the main one of the main characters, like when he's with his girlfriend previously to kind of the events of the film, because the film keeps kind of jumping back and forth. They have this like romantic thing in Paris, and it's really great, but you only see like brief glimpses of it, and then we see him trying to relive it. And it's like this extended sequence where he's trying to relive every moment that we didn't actually see before in the happy past or whatever. And so it's this awkward extended kind of sequence where everything is he's trying to manufacture everything, and everything isn't like it's not he's not recapturing the past. He's failing constantly to do so, and it's just really kind of gut wrenching, and it's it's really fantastic. But like, I don't even know if I can recommend it, because the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, "What's this? What's the deal here?" So I don't know. Maybe this film was designed to for appreciation on a rewatch, I guess. But which would be pretty genius if it was. But I think it's just me. I don't know. Yeah.
You recommend
well, I
watching it
guess.
twice?
Yeah. Well, like I guess. I guess your expectations of the film could factor into it, where the first time you watch it, you're looking for something more conventional. But like something I kind of realized rewatching it this time is like after they first like put their manuscripts in, which is like more or less the first scene, like everything goes downhill after that. So like all of the happier scenes are like flashbacks, kind of. So I don't know. It's a thoroughly kind of depressing film. And maybe rewatching it, maybe a part of the appreciation in rewatching it is that you understand that structure more, and you understand that this is really about how things aren't always what you want them to be, and that the whole film is kind of set in the depressing present, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just really loved it this time. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. What prompted you to rewatch it?
June.
Oh, sorry. I
I
didn't raise my hand. So you go.
I'm just curious. Reprise or reprise? Like I've never said the word out loud before.
Yeah, I used to
I've
think it was
always read it as
reprise.
reprise. Yeah.
Same, but it's reprise. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Because I heard Tria say it and Google said it as well. So
okay, and now that brings us the director's name. Would it not be Joachim? Not Joachim or whatever you said?
Google said Joachim or Joachim. British pronunciation Joachim.
Joachim.
So
wow.
What did you say?
Joachim. I don't know. I just thought
Joachim. No, it wouldn't be I'm. It would be M or Aim, wouldn't it?
Joachim. But it's still like Joachim. No. I don't know. Yeah.
Not the middle bit. Right, I'm just. I don't
know. It's just two things that call me. It's just like okay.
Yeah, you can argue with the internet on that one. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Oslo trilogy in general is just a good. I mean, it was kind of. I think it was kind of decided as the trilogy kind of afterwards. Like I don't know if he intended to kind of make it, but it kind of has recurring recurring actors, I guess. He talked about it in his like movie thing as like a progression of like attitudes. Like this one is very, self kind of serious about the artist's journey, and then when you get to like, and Oslo is kind of like that as well. But when you get to like worst person of the world, there's kind of this progression where characters are more kind of accepting of life and stuff and other parts of life. But yeah, like in general, the Oslo trilogy I'd recommend, from Joachim, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is the best Hollywood family? Andy Lau wrote in and said, the Coppolas, since I posted that meme this morning, Nick Cage and Jason Schwartzman are also involved in that family. Wait, Jason Schwartzman is as well? Okay. Let me look up how. Are also involved in that family as well, but I can't remember how Jason is related on the top of my head right now. Nick Cage's uncle is old Francis, I think. Yeah, that's right. I remembered hearing Quentin Tarantino dated Sophia before, and that would have been something if they actually remained and went further. Yeah, that's true.
Well, Spike Jones is also kind of a part of the family too, right? Because he was with Sophia.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, but what? But like, did they? I don't know. Did they do anything to, establish that?
Consummate the marriage?
Yes. Or did they? Did they? I feel like you need to have either been married or have had a kid, and then you're in.
Were they not married?
I don't know. As well.
Probably. I don't know.
I think they were. That's like the whole point of fucking Lost in Translation, no? Wasn't it? Was it not about getting into a marriage when she was young, and then like getting like not mistreated, but like kind of neglected by Jones?
It's the same with her, because her's supposed to be like the opposite side of Lost in Translation. So.
Yeah.
The movies do align with the theory, but you can just look it up,
Yeah.
But regardless, I think it's part of the family.
Okay.
Schwartzman is also a nephew of Coppola.
How so?
I don't know. It just says that he's a nephew.
Well, Nick Cage is his brother's son.
This just says and nephews Nick Cage and Jason Schwartzman, so I don't really know that.
Okay. I demand more from you, Jan. I demand more research. The Coppolas, it's a good answer though, for sure. They're pretty legendary. Wait, what was Luke's answer, Liam, again?
The Russo brothers. Well, I kind of fed him this answer because he said initially he said his answer is the same as mine, but that wouldn't be representative of Luke. So
I feel like 2 isn't good enough for a family, to be honest. No offense, Luke.
You can't find another one. There's no cousin or anything, no nephew.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's someone who's like a fledgling screenwriter or something. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I feel like you need. I feel like you need to have at least 3 famous people in the family for me to count it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Hemsworth brothers. I'll accept that.
Oh, right.
We all know who goes last on the list, but that's fine. We still know.
That's why Luke can't say the Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah.
Too personal.
Dr. Leanne said, a well-known Hollywood family are the Fondas. The Fonda family spans 3 generations. The brilliant acting of both Henry and Jane Fonda playing father and daughter can be seen in 1981 classic film On Golden Pond. I haven't seen that. The Douglas family should also get a mention here. Kirk and Michael Douglas have been a powerful father and son Hollywood double act. Sadly, Kirk died in 2020 at the age of 103. Gee, that's not that sad. Good on him. At the age of 80, the high versatile Michael Douglas continues to impress us with his acting abilities. Wait, so he's 80 now. His dad died in 2020.
What has Michael Douglas been in recently?
Ant-Man.
Oh, right.
Isn't he doing that TV show?
Yeah, he is. That the one about, oh my god, one of the American founding people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that period piece.
Franklin.
Can't remember. Franklin, yes, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, that's right.
And the Kaminsky Method. That was the one I was thinking of, actually.
I've seen all that. Yeah, he was good in that. Yeah. That one's kind of weird because so it's meant to be like a buddy thing with Alan Arkin. Then Alan Arkin left the show after season 2. In universe, like they kill him off in the show, and then like 2 years later, Alan Arkin actually died. So yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, I just like Alan Arkin, but so I don't know. If you're Michael Douglas, that's pretty. So that means his dad was still alive when he was what 77. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. Maybe he was like waiting. I don't know. But I think it's pretty cool to still have your dad around then. That's it from Dr. Leanne this week. Thank you, Leanne. Leanne's answer from last week also came up about the American Dream. I just want to quickly shout that out. And her favourite movies about the American Dream are American Hustle, American Beauty, Citizen Kane, and Goodfellas. Which I don't think those came up in any of those came up last week.
Someone mentioned
I don't
Kane.
think.
I think Liam mentioned
Someone
Kane,
mentioned Kane?
didn't you?
Yeah, actually, I think you're right about that. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there you go. Is American Hustle well liked? So I haven't seen that one. But like every time I hear about it, I just think of like, wasn't Amy Adams abused or something? On set?
Yeah. Was it Amy or was it Jen?
Maybe both. I thought it was Amy, but it might have been both.
But I think it was a thing of like what old mate yelling and like being like demanding and shit like that. Like I don't know.
Right.
I mean, like obviously yes, it's bad, but like I don't know how abused it was.
Yeah, abuse is probably the wrong word. Yeah.
It's probably the right one, but like just compared to the normal Hollywood abuse we hear, it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toxic work environment, if you will.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you, Leanne. Jaden, Hollywood families.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I think the Coppolas are pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The one I've got is the Hemingways. So obviously there's the big one, old mate Ernest. Not really Hollywood, but you know he's got his writing, and you know what's followed has become Hollywood. But then like his kids, or the kids. Hold on, what's this?
Are you saying Marielle? Because Marielle's not related. I don't think.
Who?
Marielle isn't related. Are you thinking different Hemingways?
No, she is.
Is she?
Mariel and Margot.
Is she really?
So Dre, because I've heard of Dre Hemingway, because I know that Dre is the great granddaughter of Ernest, and then I was looking at her. So she is the daughter of Mariel, and the niece of Margot Hemingway. So I guess like if she's the niece of those and the daughter of that, then and there's the great grandfather, I'd say they are related.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Just had another Louis Theroux moment right there.
I swear I looked this up before, but okay.
Yeah. I'd say them. I know they've spanned quite a while, and obviously, I don't know, across quite some quite famous and great products and stuff like that. So, I know the Coppolas and them. I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Basically, yeah, I was looking around and nothing beats the Skarsgårds for me, man. It was they were the force going into this question, and they prevailed from my research. Dude, you can't go wrong. We're about to get Stellan again in Andor season 2 in a couple months. Get hyped for that. He's gonna like tear up some monologues again for us. And the three brothers are great. Although I didn't know, so Gustav is probably the brother I know the least. I still recognized him, but he was in Oppenheimer. I'm like, what?
Mm.
Do you guys remember him in Oppenheimer at all?
Did we talk about it? I feel like we talked about it in the review.
I don't think so.
Was he like the undercover like Russian guy who was like one of the guys at Los Alamos?
I mean, that would make sense. He would fit in there, I guess. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I feel like, yeah, I definitely know him the least. But I mean, obviously, Bill's great. He's got, I don't know, Bill's got that sort of like face where like he can fit into certain character roles quite well. I feel like Alexander's like the main. He can do anything, in my opinion. He's definitely my number one. You can put him in anything.
Isn't Alexander a bit action man-y?
No, not well. I mean, no, I don't see him that way because from Succession and from Big Little Lies.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like something else I'm missing. Yeah. I definitely see him in more a dramatic thing. But yeah, I that's the thing about him. I have no doubt he could. Well, like, what's an action thing he's done? I feel like he could totally crush it. I just can't think of one.
Wasn't he the one in Godzilla or some shit?
Oh yeah. He's in Godzilla Kong.
Yeah.
And the one before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and he's Tarzan, of course. As we discussed. Yeah.
And the Northman.
Okay. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. So there you go. Range there on Alexander Skarsgård. I don't know. Is that wait? I feel like you're a Bill fan, Fitzy. I feel like Bill's probably your number one. Skarsgård.
Why? Bill.
I don't know. I just feel like I've heard you appreciate him numerous times.
Have I? Oh, maybe for Barbarian or something, but no. Alexander wins. So because of Succession, obviously, and the Northman stuff. But-
Yeah, sure.
Stellan, you haven't mentioned the patriarch, you know.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Yeah, not
Come on,
not
mate.
enough, you know.
Yeah, no, true. I reckon my ranking, Stellan is awesome. My ranking would be Alexander, Stellan, Bill, and nothing against Gustav. I've just sent him the list. That'd be my
Yeah.
ranking.
Oh well, I have to talk about the Theroux, right? I mean, I promised last week I'd drop this lore on the viewers.
Yeah, please do.
So like a few years ago, I was watching I was kind of on the booktube side of things, right, on YouTube, and I came across this Alexander Theroux interview about his book Darkenville's Cat, which is like this kind of experimental novel, like very very verbose, very wordy, very interesting, very eccentric. I was like, okay, who's this guy? And turns out his brother is Paul Theroux, who was a famous writer, travel writer and novelist. He did like the Mosquito Coast, right? And so like those two being brothers is like fine, but Paul Theroux, his son, is of course Louis Theroux.
Here we go.
Yeah. And Louis Theroux. So Paul Theroux and Alexander are actually American, but Louis Theroux, British icon. He is Paul's son, which is kind of mind blowing, right? Like Louis Theroux, and then he has his dad Paul Theroux, but his uncle Alexander. But I'm not done. Justin Theroux is also related. He's Eugene Theroux's kid, who is one of Paul Theroux's brothers. So we have four Theroux, but there's another Theroux, Louis Theroux's older brother, I think, who Marcel or something like that, who's also a writer, right? But
Okay.
they're a Hollywood family because Justin Theroux was in the Apple TV Plus show, The Mosquito Coast, which is of course his uncle's novel. So absolutely insane. The family right here. I feel like an iceberg. The Theroux iceberg video should be made.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, discovering this was a great joy, and I'm happy I can impart it onto others.
It was a great joy when I discovered it, for sure. I mean, just the fact that, like, I think when I started seeing Justin Theroux pop up as an actor, I was like, I was trying to remember how to pronounce his name from Louis. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a Theroux, like that Louis guy. So you know what I mean? And then without even realizing, because I'm like, there's no way that this American actor and this British journalist can be related. But alas,
Yeah,
it's unbelievable how the world works. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Actually, I learned a fair bit of people who are related also, but I feel like maybe I can drop some other knowledge on people.
Yeah, Riley
I was doing
Keough
some
is
research.
in the Elvis family.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler was adopted, and then when she was 10, she found out her dad was Steven Tyler, who's in Aerosmith. He's like the main singer in Aerosmith. So that's another one I
That is
learned
interesting.
recently.
That's a good one. The one I learned was I didn't know, like, I know Eric Roberts from like The Dark Knight, etc. I didn't know that he was Julia Roberts' brother. That was pretty mind blowing to me. And dude, hang on, okay, get this right. I was like, one of these families that came out was, of course, the Sheen / Estevez family that we know of. Dude, how did I not know that Martin Sheen's real name is Ramon Estevez? That's his name, his birth name.
Yeah.
And he changed his name to Martin Sheen as like a stage name. It's like to get jobs and shit as an actor. And it's like, that's mind blowing. That blew my mind. So, because I was like, why has he got a kid named Emilio Estevez? What is up with that? You know what I mean? I think the kid just changed his name, or like it was some marriage thing, whatever. I don't know. But alas, that's actually his name. And then so that his son, one of his sons chose to keep the fake name, and the other one the real name. You know what I mean? So that was pretty mind blowing. Like, how was that guy's? Like, I look at that guy now, I'm like, how is your name Ramon? Like, what? As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comment section, or join the Discord server. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is, what is your favourite movie based on a TV show? Let us know. Fitzy, why are we asking this question?
We're beginning a new franchise. Really big one.
Drum roll.
In preparation for a certain film next year. Mission Impossible. Yes, Mission Impossible 1, where we are reviewing next week, or Mission Impossible. Which is on Stan, Foxtel, Netflix, Paramount, Binge, YouTube.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
So yeah, get hyped for that. We're gonna like run through them as fast as we can before the final reckoning.
It's very exciting. Jump on board, everyone. Jump on board. If you haven't seen these movies, everyone I know, I mean, I think it started with Jade and then Spooky. Everyone that we're trying to win over on this franchise gets won over, dude. So you gotta, if you haven't jumped on the train yet, now's the time.
Yeah, dude.
Join
Dude, I
us
think I watched
on
like
the
4 of
journey.
them in fucking 2 days or something like that when I started. Straight away.
Well, they deserve it. They're worth it. So yeah, check them out. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate Liam and Jana for joining me as always. Have a great rest of your week, and goodbye.